Ciao các bạn. So g'day. Today I'm gonna talk to you in English. Yeah, that's right. For me this topic is a bit hard to speak in Vietnamese. That's why I decided to make it easier and faster to deliver the information that I want to give you in English. I'm gonna talk about things that I've learned while I was living in Vietnam. I've been here already for, I would say, almost 6 years. And when I just came here, I was a completely different person, and now I'm different as well. Well, you know, we always change, but something specifically I've understood once I started living here. When I just came to Vietnam, I thought like, you know, this is a country, nice country, beautiful country. I'm gonna travel here for a while. I didn't plan to stay here for long, but then when I started living here, okay, I thought, all right, I need to learn a bit of language. So I've learned numbers from 1 to 10 and just say hello, goodbye, thank you. And I thought for 1 or 2 years, that would be enough with me. And I don't need to study more. Anyway, most of my friends were foreigners at that moment. But to be honest, I didn't understood the country fully until I started to learn the language. And it's not just because of it improves my communication with other people, but it's just helped me to open the key to the culture, to the mentality of these people, and understand them much better in much deeper way. You might hear when you come countries like Vietnam or Southeast Asia, especially Vietnam for some reason, people say like, hey, you gotta be careful. Everybody can overcharge you here. Everyone wanna take money from you, you know? And people like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be careful. I'm gonna like be profi, you know? I know I'm gonna bargain with each person at each moment, and I'm gonna reduce the price as low as I can. But yes, there is a such thing, like people try to overcharge you, but if you bargain and you really go the price down, it doesn't mean you're winning. It means sometimes that people can give you either a low quality products, or it can mean that you can just get bad experience and spend more of your emotions. What I found myself after living for a long time in Vietnam is that I would not bargain too much with people who put higher prices, because I know them already, right? But I just go to people who give me proper prices or just slightly higher, and then I start buying from them not just one time, but I start to go there regularly. And usually people see that, they value that, and they reduce the price for you. And you start building a good relationship with your vendor. So don't always try to bargain right away. See for the people, see their attitude. If you think the price is too high, you can just go to another place. But if you think it's more or less fine, just buy for it. Maybe next time they'll get you a better price. Another thing I've learned is being more generous. As you know, I come from Russia, and Russian people are generally quite generous people. But when we start to travel, when we go to another country, we just become this little greedy machine saving up each penny, doesn't want to spend anything, especially when you are a budget backpacker like I was in the past. And I always try to you know, find the best deal, and at the same time ignore the people, the real people, you know, because when you look sometimes on the streets in Vietnam and you can see in the middle of the day some vendor standing under the hot sun, and he's selling the same fruits that you can buy on the other place in the market, and he's selling them slightly more expensive. I would usually ignore this because I know, oh, they're gonna overcharge me. But now I just understood that, come on, these people, they've made a lot of sacrifices just to be here, to stand under the sun, and sometimes just to pay a bit more money to support them is not so bad. And one time this thing happened with me when I wanted to buy the gas for my motorbike, and it was the man who, it was not the gas station, it was just a man selling on the street. I knew the prices for the gas, and when I asked him to give me one, he had like a bottle, right? So I fill it in, 1 liter, and then he said the price, it was 10,000 more. And I was like, no, I know that's not the right price. That should be 20,000, not 30,000, you know? And as then it was a fight, and now, you know, when I remember about this, I feel so embarrassed. I feel quite regret about that, because that man, he was taking his time just to get just a tiny bit more money. And I was just ignoring the situation. He was very tired, and I wish I can go back and just give this man this money and say like, yeah, thank you so much for helping me in this moment. Growing up in the middle of Siberia, I always was surrounded by nature. Mountains, trees, forests, lakes. It was always around me. I loved that, but I never really understood that that's something is like a privilege until I started to live in Hanoi. If you ever been to Hanoi, you know what this city is. It's a big, huge, noisy, polluted city with a lot of people. It's nice sometimes on a good days, but most of the times it's complete opposite of where I was growing up into. And now when I start to come back to Russia, when I come back to my family, or even I go to some other places like living here in Hoi An, I just understand. I start to cherish the peaceful and quiet and nice places much more than I was before in my life. The fresh air, the blue sky, that's what I've always missed, although I never valued that when I was living before in my hometown. When I just came to Vietnam, I started to look for a job as an English teacher. And whenever I come to the place, they check my resume, they've done the interview, they see the demo, they're happy about everything. But they would ask me one thing. You must tell that you're from America or from England, whatever you want, but don't tell them that you are from Russia. And I was like, okay, no problem, I can do that. I would do anything because I needed money. And first, it was fine with me, but after a while, you know, when I started to get really connected with my students, we built really good relationships. And then they asked me my Facebook, some contacts and stuff like that. I really wanted to give them, but I couldn't, because there was no guy who I was presented to be. I was something else. And after a while, I just said, okay, stop. I don't want to do it anymore. Now I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be Sergey from Russia. And then luckily I found a company which agreed to my terms, and I was working with them, and the kids knew who I am, and it was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that experience, and since then I always never lie to other people about who I am, and I always been true to myself. And last thing I want to tell you today, guys, is the importance of being happy in the moment. Many people tell you carpe diem, you know, catch the moment, right? So go ahead, go travel, do this, go there, right? Because, or some people say another slogan, YOLO, right? You live only once. And all of us think, oh my God, we must do something, we must go, we must create something, we must do something, you know, it's kind of make you crazy sometimes, because you think like, I'm in the place and I don't do anything. But actually, you don't have to do anything to be happy. You know, like the most happy people are those people who doesn't have many things, you know? They don't have expensive cars, they don't have super big house, they just have a normal job, they just have a normal life, and they're happy. How I came to this is that before I came to Vietnam, I had a huge passion for traveling, yeah? And I thought like, okay, I must see the world, it's my dream. It's still my dream. I don't say that it's not. But due to some life circumstances, I had to stay in Vietnam and I couldn't travel much. And first of all, I felt so bad, you know, I felt depressed. I felt like, oh, I cannot live my dream. I cannot go there, I cannot go here, you know? And if I couldn't do that, it was driving me crazy, literally. I thought, I'm not happy. I was literally and figuratively suffocating. There was not enough sun. It was very crowded city. And I felt very stressed, you know. I felt like, oh my God, I need to get out of here. It's impossible to be happy in this place. But then I start to look around, start to see, what can I do to make me happy? Can I go out and play with my friends? Can I spend some time with my wife? Can I talk to my family on the phone? Yes, I could. And now all you can be guys as well, sitting at home right now during this coronavirus time. You don't have to be all over the world or achieving some great results. You can be just in one place. If you realize what you can do about this in this moment, you're gonna be happy and nothing gonna change that.